Today we're in a pit of despair over Paige Desorbo's departure from Summer House. We're sharing immense gratitude for La Dispute's mysterious new album, and we're dishing some tea about the queen of Salt Lake delusion that is Britani Batemen. As always, we name our liar of the week, and we prove that there's a little bit of emo in everyone. Listen, your friends and family might think that this is trash TV. Your mom might have thought this was a phase. But here at RealityEmos, we know alternative music and pop culture scenes shaped us and still do. So let's laugh together, cry together, scream at the TV together. Welcome to RealityEmos. So today, as usual, we are starting with a rant. We've got a lot of Summer House sadness up in here today. So Paige Desorbo, the icon she is, let it loose the day after the Summer House reunion finale, part 2, that she had a little life update for us. That wasn't so little. So I'm not going to read this whole message because it upsets me. But here it is. Here's what she shared on Instagram here on the left. I am excited for Paige, but I'm also upset and angry. So I'm excited to see Paige transition to a new part of her life, but I will admit I'm in a pit of despair. I don't want to not have her on our screens. I'm going to miss the Paige-isms. I'm going to miss her making fun of the boys. I loved her in Summer House. I actually rewatched the entire series this year, and it just became so much better when Paige joined the cast. So I'm going to miss the dynamic that she brought to this house, but she's got a lot going on, so I get it. I really hope that the rumors about that spinoff with her and Lindsay and Amanda and Sierra is true, because that would be wonderful. I would love to be able to have her back on our television screens, though I know she's a busy woman. So I know she's got, she also announced that she has a new sleepwear brand. And it's very on brand, so I can't hate it. But I want her on my TV. I don't want this. It's called Daphne. It's named after a cute little cat. And, you know, I think we all know Paige is extremely stylish, so it will be nice to have her make clothing for us. But I want this woman on my TV. She also does have Giggly Squad, and their YouTube channel is so fun. They also have Hannah and Paige Try New Things. They have a series of them going around trying new things while they're on tour. They release new videos every week, so definitely check that out. Support our girl, but also, if you can, make sure in your comments of support, you're like, are you coming back to TV? I've heard rumors that they might bring Summer House back with just the boys. I wouldn't really mind that, but I want this girl, and I want the dynamic of Amanda and Sierra and Paige, and now Lindsay as well as getting along with them. I want that on my TV. And Reddit does too. I know I bring up Reddit a lot, but it tells you what the people want, what they crave. So make sure we see her back. Next up is a segment we call Music Excite Times, and it's about my number one favorite band in the entire world, La Dispute. It is an exciting time for them, not just because I love them, but because they haven't put out an album since March of 2019. So Panorama was the last album we saw, and I knew something was up. when I got this little letter in the mail from our good friends, Law Dispute. And it was quite mysterious. But the one thing I understood from it was that we should go to this website, iamnoone.org. And from there were a lot of, like, if you clicked certain things, you would hear audio. I love a mystery. And they're just so spectacular, this band. I joined the Discords. I joined I viewed the Reddit pages about this. And from that, they have the best fans, smartest fans, the most respectful fans in this genre. And, you know, the smarties figured out what was going on. So they are releasing a new album on September 5th called No One Was Driving the Car. And it will be released in a few, like, sprinkles and drops in 5 stages. So prior to the full release, there will be 4 releases of 3 songs at a time. And we already were blessed with the initial 3 songs on May 13th. So we got I Shaved My Head, Man with Hands and Ankles Bound, and Autofiction Detail. They were, of course, wonderful. I Shaved My Head. I listened to that like 5 times a day ever since it came out. We get to hear like more intimate elements of Jordan's voice already in these singles. I'm obsessed. They also delivered a documentary on their YouTube channel. So this one was directed by Martin, also known as Ginger Dope on Instagram. They are a spectacular photographer, videographer. Check them out, please. And this Instagram post let us know that there's a lot behind this album. There's a lot of vulnerability that we're seeing from it already. And I love it. I already think that as much as a recluse that people think Jordan is, I see a lot of vulnerability, intimacy in what they provide. Not only, so like even before that letter I got in the mail about this new album, like as a subscriber, Patreon member, subscriber of anything they do, we used to get like these letters in the mail, handwritten and then copied from the band frequently. Their cassettes are awesome. Their documentaries are always show you a deeper side. So I've always thought that they were wonderful, open, inspiring people. But this documentary was awesome to watch. It does show you more about this album. One thing that I learned from it was that actually Panorama was hard for the band to make, which I was unaware of, but it was quote unquote hard to make. That's what Jordan says. And this new album, though it will be darker from watching this No One Was Driving the Car documentary, I do think that they had more fun creating it, at least. Well, I know they did because of what Chad said. So
and all that, it's really like you see what's there, you see what's left, and sometimes that can be exciting and sometimes that can be scary. A lot of it is, I think, everybody having their voices heard and being able to listen. We've done better than we ever have on this record, for sure, with no question. That we've been able to, like, I think, allow people to try all the things they wanted to try and be everything they wanted to be. And like, I think everybody really kind of stepped into those roles even more so than we ever have before. I think in a lot of ways we were all our best selves, I think, for this.
they all just look tremendously happy in this documentary, in the content I've seen. And I can't help but love when artists love what they do. It puts a smile on my face. It brings joy to my little black heart. So I'm excited for this new album. They also announced a tour. Get your tickets. And they are just going to be releasing this new album over time. So be sure to grab what you can, consume what you can from bands that show this side, because we want more of this, right? So up next is Reddit Realness. We chat about what we're seeing on Reddit related to alternative culture and reality TV. And this week I'm featuring the Love Island Reddit, Love Island USA Reddit. I could live in it. I could be on it 24/7. These are my people. They're hilarious. I make sure when I'm watching Love Island live in time, I'm on Love Island USA Reddit on the live threads feed. Highly recommend. So this week in Reddit Realness, OG Tangled fan is impersonating Bella-A and her moment around the fire pit when she told Ariana what she was looking for in a man was wanting a wholesome Christian boy. So I'm not sure what show Bella has seen, why she signed up, who convinced her to do this, but this is not the time or place for this. We don't want it as fans. She doesn't really want this in Fiji, right? It's not a place where you're going for like Christian vibes. But anyway, I digress. Let's see what Redditors say. So Miss Zaw says, to be fair, I don't think she actually said she wanted a Christian, did she? I feel like she said she's Christian, so she cares about XYZ traits in a guy, unless I missed that. Wrong, Miss Zaw, she did say this. And Sheep Herder Nerder says, no, she's extremely religious. Her whole family is. The coffee business has religious quotes and Christian stuff all over, which has turned many people off from visiting it. It's even in their reviews. Fact check this, it's accurate. And it is T, Vanessa Dragon. So she's not putting on a good girl front. This is her. This is how she was raised. This is who she is. Scary Egg 4344 says, unclear if Bella-A has seen the show before. And Sheep Herder Nerder, a stan for Sheep Herder Nerder, says, I believed it's pronounced Bella-A. That's how I'm pronouncing it now, as you've noticed. There's no other way. And Salt Solid provides a wonderful little meme here. Baby, I'm gonna hold your hands when I say this. You're not finding this on Love Island. And we don't want you to find this, by the way. And M4GD4LENE. Oh, gosh. I am an elder millennial, so I don't know how to say that differently. Says, goes for the one who says he wants a freak, LMAO. Yeah, Nick straight up said what he was looking for around that fire pit was a crazy girl, which Bella-A heard. And in his intro, he also said he wants a freak. So I'm still a bit unsure how that's going to work, but I digress. Meanwhile, she's with the skeeziest guy there, which is inaccurate. We know the skeeziest guy is Austin. Blech. Apparently nurses are freaks, though. I learned that from this thread. Kim's goddamn house said everyone wearing all those cross necklaces are probably so misleading to her, LOL. Which is so real, because Ace had a cross necklace. Taylor had a cross necklace. Austin had a cross necklace. I believe Jeremiah did too, but I couldn't catch a screenshot of that. Like, as someone I'm an avid cross necklace wearer, to be honest, but I wear it more for style. So yeah, she's probably confused as heck. And Lash Cutie says, she's making me mad for real. Like, girl, please kiss that boy before he runs off somewhere. Oh, too late. Yeah, so that whole Sierra thing, I'll get into it in a bit. And this was my favorite from the original poster. The Holy Trinity watching Bella-A strut around in a thong bikini but not kiss anyone on the mouth. Oh, hell yeah, these are the sins I died for, says the Lord. Honestly, when I watch Love Island, I feel my Christian guilt kicks in. I'm like, what am I doing? So I'm so confused. There was also a thread that popped up. Serious question. When do contestants have a chance to fart? Do you think they're just all ripping it at night when they think everyone's asleep? And my favorite comment was Fancy Cheese 101. I would honestly just sleep outside. I'd be picking a fight every night with my partner just so I had an excuse to sleep outside. So toxic, but so real. And David Fairytale says, I'd probably go to the docks or Soul Ties. Soul Ties is crazy. Soul Ties is also kind of like an enclosed space. I don't think I would do that. And Miss Xmas Baby said, I'd be taking fart walks for sure. Same. That's what I think I'd do. I would probably go out on the dock or, I don't know, just walks away to rip them out. All right, up next, we'd like to hear from you for our Reality Confessions booth. So feel free to check out my socials. I have an NGL link if you have an opinion that you want to keep anonymous, one that could ruin a brunch. Maybe you think Kelly Dodd should still be around, or you have a confession about one night at Warped Tour that no one knows about. Or maybe, just maybe, you have already subscribed to Tyson Ritter's OnlyFans. You can spill it anonymously using my NGL link all over my socials. It'll be in the description. Check it out. Just so you know, I've shared a confession in episode 1 about Sonia Morgan, so you're not alone. Mine wasn't anonymous, so why are you scared? Up next, we're going to just talk about this Love Island cast, the games that they're playing. I just need to say, Ariana is a gift. I cannot believe how perfectly she fits in as a host to this show. We are so blessed to have her. But I'm going to talk about this cast. So, she who will not be named. I heard that the reason that episodes 1 and 2 were delayed by an atrocious amount of time was because they were trying to edit her out. This one. Out of the episodes. They didn't really do a good job, but I'm glad they tried. And I also am obsessed with the way they announced that she left and how it was never mentioned again. So thank you for that, guys. You should have done a little better vetting, but whatever. And then this one over here with the worst. I've seen a lot of bad tattoos. I have a lot of bad tattoos, but this is just upsetting that a man like this somehow got one of the most gorgeous goddesses to ever walk this earth, to ever be on our screen. It upsets me to no end that Austin here is with our beautiful, beautiful Shelley. I also want to talk about that moment that Alondria and Huda had around the fire pit when, Huda had a comment about how all of the men except for Jeremiah stood when the new girl, Sierra, was available to couple up with. And that was like my first glimpse of, girl, when it comes to Huda. Because to cry about that, first and foremost, I don't like it when people cry when being confronted about things that they did. I was on Alondria's side specifically because of the conversation that her and Taylor had relating to that challenge where they could all stand up and kiss anyone that they wanted because everyone else was blindfolded. Alondria stood up, kissed Ace, kissed Nick. Taylor didn't. They had a conversation about it, a very mature conversation. They talked about how amazing it was, how mature they handled it, how they were still open, but it felt really awesome to have a conversation like that when they're not fully exclusive, and they were excited to see what would happen if they could get to that point. So for Huda to bash Taylor in that moment, and honestly all the men, it's not really her business. Alondra had the right to speak up about that, in my opinion. So, the crying, I tend to love it when girls are girls on this show, especially the OGs being girls. But then Huda proved that she's not when the newer girls came. So I tend to like it when girls are girls. But there's just something off there. So, I mean, we'll see how she reacts to other things, and hopefully I'm wrong. But the other thing I want to talk about is just how close these two are. I actually see Hood and Ace making more sense. I don't really get the Jeremiah thing, but she did mention she wants someone that's like really pretty that people look at all the time. So it kind of makes sense she went for him. And then Nick I think he's giving me like Rob energy. Like he's never going to really choose a woman throughout the entire season. He's going to play these girls day after day, never choose. But Sierra, I understood how Nick gravitated towards her, and actually why all the men stood up, because she is a great conversationalist. If you notice in that episode, like, she was asking them a lot of questions about themselves. She was very inquisitive. She knew a lot about, like, different culture. Like, she was talking to Nick about anime, so I understand the appeal, and I hope she gets someone. And Belle
Awesome at
Dasha,
this.
she's getting a lot of hate. But I don't mind her. I think she's kind of funny and cute. This boy here, he's got like two rocks click-clacking in his head. So again, I don't understand how he's even allowed to be within 2 feet of Shelley, let alone sleeping in the same bed, let alone locking lips, but whatever. And then Charlie, I don't think he's going to last long. I don't have much to say about that. But in a perfect world, my hopes and dreams for this season, I like it when an OG wins. I don't mind it if like a newbie comes in and they're, they make a good couple. But I'm already obsessed with these two, Alondria and Taylor. So Alondria's got a body yaddy. She's hilarious. She is actually a girl's girl. She's wise. Pretty much anyone that she's with, I will probably be happy. But I think her and Taylor make sense. They're funny together. They're mature together. They look good together. They're mature together. So I'm team them. And I want them to take the crowns. All right, next up, we name our liar of the week. And buckle up for some very on-brand Real Housewives of Salt Lake City chaos. So our liar of the week is going to be Miss Britani Batemen. She's being sued by her 87-year-old former mother-in-law, Sandra Underwood, for failing to return $100,000 that was allegedly deposited into something called an integrity trust, which is like super ironic. That's the name. So this dates back to 2019 when the money was supposedly put into a trust, and Britani and her now late mother were the trustees. So Sandra claims that the cash was for safekeeping rather than taking, and she said it could be withdrawn at any time, but instead Britani used it all for herself and refused to pay it back. So Sandra's taking legal action, and she's saying she's struggling with her medical bills. This is like so Salt Lake City fraudulent. She fits in. The lawsuit demands full repayment plus attorney fees plus interest. And I'm sorry, but this better be on the next season, or else I'm protesting. I'm flipping tables, because this is the drama we need. It's Emmy worthy, I'm sure. The story is unfolding, but we'll be watching it very closely, closer than Heather Gay's Botox timelines. All right, up next, we prove that there's a little bit of emo in everyone. And this week, we're talking Jesse Solomon. So Jesse Solomon is going to be a little ditty called Curse of Curves by Cute Is What We Aim For. So this song to me is like peak nice guy core, just like our boy Jesse. At the core, this song is about wit and appearance and how those can become weapons, and a mutual attraction can turn into an intellectual turf war. I think not only does the lyric, I've got the gift of one-liners, resonate with me for Jesse in terms of like his Instagram comments on Sierra and Paige's and Amanda, and I'm sure many other women's Instagrams, but it also aligns with how he's like so infatuated yet infuriated and torn between worshiping a girl's confidence and her curves, yet resenting her for not being impressed by his cleverness and his wordplay and his romantic manipulation. He's basically yelling like all season, like, why don't you like me? I'm so clever and you're so hot and we should be together. And that's kind of like the vibe this song gives to me. The curse isn't just about her body, it's about the power a woman holds and his inability to deal with someone who matches or outsmarts him in the game of seduction. And it's giving a boy obsessed with a girl who isn't that into him, but makes him feel like every rejection is a personal thesis paper. So ultimately, The Curse of Curves is a cynical flirtation full of contradictions, ego bruises, and embodies Jesse Solomon in this latest season of Summer House. Alrighty. Last up, we've got our special report. Dear Diary, my streaming queue is full and my bank account is drained, and somehow I'm still planning outfits for 3 concerts that I don't even have tickets to yet. So, let's talk news. Up first, just a reminder, Turnstile's new album, Never Enough, was recently released. On June 6th, it dropped. They've got vinyls, they've got a visual film. Of course, you can stream it anywhere. They've got concerts that they're headlining. Recently saw Haley freaking Williams was on stage with them singing a new song. So please support authentic artists like this who are giving us, feeding us their souls on stage and allowing us in. Do what you can to support Turnstile. I did warn you I'd talk about them every single episode, so I'm not sorry. It is well known that the Vans Warped Tour is returning to celebrate its 30th anniversary. So it's hitting a 3-city mini tour, first in Washington, D.C., starting this upcoming week, June 14th through 15th. And then they'll hit Long Beach, California in July and Orlando, Florida in November. Each location features 70 to 100 bands across various genres, including rock, punk, alternative, pop punk, and emo. I also saw Young Gravy was on the date I'm going, which is interesting. Lineups are not completely yet announced, but we're all anticipating this for a nostalgic revival. I attended every single Warped Tour I could once I started attending concerts, so this holds a special place in my heart. Pop punk powerhouses A Day to Remember and Yellowcard are teaming up for their Maximum Fun Tour. It's a 36-city tour across North America starting September 5th. Their special guests will be State Champs and the Wonder Years. A Day to Remember is actually touring to support their latest release of Big Ol' Album Volume 1, and Yellowcard is set to drop Better Days, their first album in nearly a decade, on October 10th. The drama is returning to the 305 as Real Housewives of Miami kicks off its 7th season on July 11th at 9 p.m. Eastern and Pacific on Bravo. It's not just on Peacock anymore. I'm so excited. This season will have returning cast members Alexia, Larsa, Lisa, Gertie, and Julia, along with the newcomer Stephanie. I don't know if you guys saw this trailer, but it looks very intense. Personal group dynamics, Larsa splitting from Marcus on this season, And Alexia is having an emotional separation journey from Todd. So that's your Torn TVT for the week. Whether you're screaming in the pit or at your screen, remember, it's not just a phase, it's a lifestyle. Thanks for listening, guys. Have an awesome week, and I will catch you next week. Thanks for listening